Welcome to Season 4 of Soccer Over Gotham, an NWSL podcast covering New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, hosted by Ruby Pinto and produced by Gary Gibson. Welcome to episode 117 of Soccer Over Gotham, Esther Flips the Script edition. We have a great show for all of you. Gary, what do we have in this episode?
We do have a great show. Gotham follows up a 13-0 romp over Frasers with a 5-1 4-goal second half, just behind one of the best performances in NWSL history by Esther. Unreal performance. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about Esther on this one. We also have some good news about Coach Juan Carlos because he is breaking records. His first 2 seasons at the helm have been pretty good here at Gotham. We'll talk about his impact. Then we have a pretty stat-heavy episode, so buckle up, folks. And then we also are going to take a deep dive into a wild night in Harrison. We have sightings, we have proposals, we have mariachi bands, we have 5 goals, and stick around to the end because I have a personal story that is a lot of fun. So who do the fans think is going to lead this team in goals at the end of the season? It is interesting. I'm surprised by it. And we'll give our own thoughts. Then we have, we get a 6-day break, essentially, for the first time in a while, it feels like. And then Gotham goes back to 3 games in 1 week. It's going to be a nail-biter, these 3 games. So we're going to talk all about that, starting with Chicago. But first, Ruby, how are you?
What's up? Finally back for another episode. Like you mentioned, we have a loaded episode. Plus, Gotham scored 5 goals. Wow, amazing. But besides that, today was actually a little chilly, so it officially feels like fall for me.
Yeah, what is this weather?
Right? And by the way, tonight, there's going to be Northern Lights. It should be visible here in Jersey. So if you want to go see them, you should be able to. I don't know. I really want to go see them, but I don't know if I'll be able to stay up because I think you can see them around like midnight. So if I do go, I doubt it. But if I do go, I think there's a place in Hackettstown that you can go because it's really dark. There's not a lot of light. You'll be able to see them there. I was looking at some pictures on I think Instagram. The pictures that people have taken in the last couple of days are amazing.
That does sound amazing. You're planning on going?
I want to go. If you tell me right now, do you want to go? I'm like, yes, I'm up to going. But if you ask me at 11, no.
Yeah. I made the president's list for my classes in the summer, which
Congrats.
It's getting closer and closer. I'm very happy about it. And now I'm thinking about getting a master's. It's craziness.
Gary, that's a lot.
It is. Speaking of Northern Lights, a little bit north of you, Ruby, at the Barclays Center, there will be the finals, the Liberty. They're playing tonight, I think, at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Going to be an amazing, amazing series. Can't wait to see the Liberty lift the trophy, bring some more trophies home to New York. Also, I voted today.
Woo!
Did. I got my mail ballot last night.
Yeah.
I proofread it 3 times. I filled it out, had my girlfriend make sure it was perfect. I drove it today to the post office, which is right across from where it needs to go. So it only has to go 200 feet to get recorded. So I did my duty. Now you all have to do yours. So again, if you're not registered, do it. I don't know what you're waiting for. And please vote if you can. Yes. It is Mental Health Awareness Day, so everybody take care of themselves and come up with some contingency plans. It is tough out there.
Yeah, talking about mental health, it's really important to do that. But it also, this month is Cancer Awareness Month. Yesterday, I went to the dermatologist just to do a general checkup, and I'm like, just went. Honestly, I didn't want to go, but my wife set up the appointment for me and everything. And I went, and the doctor did the general checkup. He's like, oh, okay, there's 3 moles that are a little too dark. I'm going to take them off and, send them for a biopsy. So it's really important to get checked up, guys. I think everything's going to be fine, but I should get the results sometime next week.
We are praying for you, Ruby. Hopefully, again, it is nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm positive that is nothing, but it's always good to go and get checked out, you know.
Indeed. Also, we're getting towards the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, which is awesome as well. So there's that. So let's talk about some Gotham FC news. This was released before the game, so his stats may be a little bit higher, but 62.7%. Head coach Juan Carlos Ambrose has the best winning percentage in league history for a coach with over 25 games. Incredible. What do you got to say, Ruby?
Yeah, that's incredible. A great accomplishment. I mean, I didn't know much about him when he started coaching Gotham, but you know, you just have to trust the process. And it looks like everyone is like bought into his mentality and his ideas and his style of play. I think he is a great coach. He changed the culture. And honestly, like the results show that and also shows that he now has a winning team.
He does. He gets everybody on the same page, which is awesome. Doesn't matter if they're 18 deep or he's bringing in players for the Summer Cup. All the players seem to be on the same page and playing well, and it always looks like Gotham. And then the team is just so well prepared every time. And you can notice that even in the first half of games where Gotham is dominating, they are prepared for every team that they play against. And he does make adjustments in the second half to get back on track if they're not. So there's also, I think everyone is progressing on this team. I can't think of, I think we talk about this a lot, but like, I can't think of a player that had like a poor performance. And if you look at players like Neely Martin, who changed positions, or Jenna Neiswanger, who changed positions, they somehow get better and it's like the right position for them and they progress and they're all doing really, really well. Doesn't matter how young the player is or how old the players are, all progressing. Even look at Mandy Freeman this year. Mandy Freeman looks better than she ever has as a right back. And it's just awesome.
Yeah. Another player is Delaney Sheehan. Pretty much, I feel like pretty much she got developed by Coach Ambrose because when she has been with Gotham for about 3 years now. First year she was with Gotham, we didn't see her play much. Second year, we saw her more, but this year she's been dominating. And I think that's thanks to the coach and of course, like all the work that she has put in.
Yeah. I think there's also a bravery that he has, which is, it's tough to do. And we talk about this a lot, but the fact that he plays Neely Martin, Delaney Sheehan, and Yasmin Ryan over players, like how many coaches would do that? Play over Sonnet, over,
Dunn.
Crystal Dunn, the likes. That takes a lot of bravery and ability. Like you have to be on point to be able to pull that off, and he is, which is awesome. And the last thing I'll say about him is that I've only known him just from the press conferences, so I have not talked to him outside of that. But every time I've asked him a question, he's given a thoughtful, personal answer, and he kind of like really thoroughly answers your question. He thinks about things a lot, and he's a very personable guy, and he just seems to have a great amount of knowledge and respect for everybody that's around him. So I'm just happy that he's here, and we want more and more success for him. So we are on YouTube now. We have not only our podcast is there, but we are starting to put up video podcasts as well. We're going to be doing news segments and things like that up there as well. So be subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's just Soccer Over Gotham on YouTube over there. Then Ruby, let's get to this game, shall we?
Let's do it.
This is the third game of the week, and they just flew back from Jamaica after a 13-0 drubbing of Frasers. So this is an important game for Gotham. They want to hold on to a chance at a home playoff game, and KC and Washington, injuries aside, are not cutting them any slack. So they have to keep winning. They have to keep playing. You would think a team that has 47 points would be cruising at this point, but not for Gotham. And then their opponent is Bay FC, who's found themselves. They have gotten better and better over these past couple of weeks. They're playing for their playoff lives. This is a well-built team. They have really strong forwards, from Bodie to Oshuala to Kunananji. Really tough attacking talent on this team, and they're going to be going for it. So this is a very important game for them. They have 3 wins in their last 5, and they did draw their 2 against playoff-bound opponents, which is interesting. But Gotham is a good team at home, so let's see how this goes. Crystal Dunn is the really only player of note on the injury report. She's still in excused absence. Then, before we get to this game, Ruby, I do want to mention this. I'm sitting in the media booth, and I'm sitting next to Jenna, and we're talking, and I see Aaron West walking around the stadium asking questions like he normally does pre-game. And it's usually like right in front of my 106 section where I'm usually sitting. But I see he's down on the field with two fans, and he starts asking them questions, and then he stops, and then at the corner of my peripheral, I can hear this. He turns to one of the fans and says, "Okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to let you ask the next question." And I was like, "Oh no, I know it's coming. I know it's coming." And yes, it was a proposal. And she said yes. So congrats to Carolina and Sophie. It was an amazing event, amazing thing. It was incredible. A gorgeous couple, and I just wish them all the best.
That is so cool. I was not at the game that day, but I did see that Gotham posted a video about the proposal, and that was so cute. I loved it.
Yeah, amazing. And they're just super sweet people. So we just, again, wish them all the best of everything in the future. For the lineup, we had Berger in goal. We had Jess Carter as the right back again. Sonnen Davidson as the defensive center back pairing. Niswanger on the left. Midfield of Ryan, Sheehan, and Martin. And Lavelle, Williams, and Stevens up top. This is a good lineup going against a very tough Bay team. Your thoughts, Ruby?
I'm glad to see Stevens here in the 11, in the mix of this 11. And we get our usuals. We get our solid Sheehan. We have Ryan, like you said, Lavelle. So honestly, like, I like that Williams was in this game as well because she's really fast. So, and she's a player that can attack and also come back to defend, as well as Niswanger. She defends and also attacks and really well. So I really like this starting 11 for the game against Bay FC.
Okay, Ruby, it's trivia time.
Woo!
Okay, so how many center back pairings have Gotham had this season? Is the over under 5?
I'm gonna say over 5.
Okay, over under 10.
Under 10.
Under 10. If you're talking about the regular season, you are correct. It was like 8 or 9. If you're talking about the Summer Cup, the Champions Cup, the whole thing, Gotham's had 13 different center back pairings.
Wow, that is crazy.
So obviously, Sonnen and Davidson are the top pairing by about 5. Who is the second most paired up duo?
Sonnet.
Sonnet is correct.
I know Sonnet and someone else, but I don't know who's the other one.
Take a guess.
Martin?
Nope.
No?
They've only been paired together once.
Once?
Mm-hmm. It's a player who played a lot at the beginning of the season.
Maitane?
Close.
No, just tell me.
It's Hyatt.
Hyatt?
Yeah. So during the early parts of the season and in the beginning of the Summer Cups, they were paired together, Sonnet and Hyatt. They were paired together 7 times.
I was going to say Hyatt, but then I was kind of thinking, we haven't really seen her much. So I was like, maybe it's not her. But I was glad to see her as, on the 18. I know. And she got to go in the second half. So that was good.
Another player that could deserve minutes here and could be starting anywhere in this league. We're glad she's here. This game, though, Ruby, was the first half was different for Gotham. This wasn't the usual on the front foot Gotham in the first half. Part of it was because I'm sure it's the third game in a week. I'm sure they're a little bit tired from that. But also Bay FC was very, very physical. They were throwing bodies around, and the ref was letting a lot of this go. He was reluctant to give cards, which that's how playoff games are generally called. So it's not something out of the ordinary. But Gotham gets, I guess you want to call it lucky. They get a handball in the box, which is funny because I couldn't see it from where I was sitting in the media. But like now that I watched the replay, like it was almost like destiny because like Oshawa was just standing there like this with her arm out, just waiting for the ball to hit her arm. So and Neiswanger hits the inside the post. It is 1-0. Your thoughts on the beginning of this first half?
My God, that ball. But yeah, first of all, it was very unfortunate for Bay FC to get that handball like early and inside the box. But Gotham has to take advantage of every opportunity. So doesn't matter how, when, what, got to take advantage of it. And this is what they did. But when that ball hit the post, I literally held my breath because I thought it was going to go out, or like, how sometimes it bounces out towards like the keeper and it doesn't go in. But luckily the ball, like when it hit the post like it went inside the net. I was so happy, but yeah, I held my breath.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where like that moment would probably dictate the rest of the game. If Jenna misses that, it's probably like, then obviously Bay scores pretty quickly. Now, the thing about like Rose Lavelle is she's like an artist on the field, and you have to like take the great, overwhelmingly greats with some like, however you want to say it. Rose sometimes she holds onto the ball a little bit too long. She was holding the ball in a pretty poor position. She got stripped, which caused Bay to be able to come down on an advantage and score. That's happened once or twice this season. Twice this season. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, Rose will make up for that, and she does later on in the game. But just your thoughts on that goal and getting the momentum taken away from us.
When Bay scored and ties the score, that moment, it felt like a repeat of when they played KC last game. You could see that, of course, they were pretty much, they had their guards down for like a second, and they took advantage of it. And Oshawa just went and scored on Gotham. I think that goal was kind of like a wake-up call for Gotham, but they're tired, so it took them a little bit to actually wake up from this. But hey, we were not ready for the show they were about to put on.
It is true. Gotham looked a bit drained going into the half, and this game just had like big draw energy on it. At halftime, I'm gonna side personal note. I had a really amazing time at Red Bull Arena, and part of that was getting recognized for like some of the first times like in the arena by like multiple people, which is really nice. Maybe it's because we're on YouTube now.
They can see your face.
Yeah, you can see my face now. But it was just really cool to see people just randomly just say hi and say, hey, they love the podcast. And it's like, I always thought about like, I always feel invisible, like no one ever sees me. So it was good to be able to meet friends, fans of the show. Mike was not really nice, and just everyone I talked to during my trip at Red Bull Arena was awesome. So you got to get there so people can recognize you.
Definitely. I'm going to the O'Hara game. I'm not going to go as press that day because my wife wants to go for O'Hara. So we're going to go, and it's going to be so much fun.
Sounds good.
And it's going to be against Orlando. So
yeah, that's going to be a big game. We're definitely going to cover a lot of that next week. Going into the second half, I think the big draw energy continues on the field, though. I think in the crowd, this crowd was very lively. I'm not sure exactly how many people were there, but it felt loud, and Cloud9 was keeping the beats, and the crowd was definitely loud, and you can hear it all the way through the arena. And the coach in the 64th minute made a decision that would change the time-space continuum. And that was bringing in Esther Gonzalez, and who now is credited with 11 touches, but had 11 touches in 26 minutes. She had 2 goals, 1 assist. She created 3 chances. Unstoppable. Every time the ball was at her foot, she did amazing things. And I also got to say about these 3 goals was that they all came from pressing and turnovers. First to Ryan. Ryan had a beautiful turnover in the middle of the park. The second goal came off a Lavelle turnover, and then Esther picked up one for the third. But it was considered the second fastest trio of goals by one club in league history, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Incredible. Ruby, just take it away. Talk about some of these goals.
My God. I'm telling you, I was not expecting that to happen from Gotham, but definitely when Esther came into the game, she changed the game. It was a different Gotham. And sometimes that's all you need. Like someone to bring that energy and be like, come on, guys, we can do this. Come on. So they see you like trying and everybody gets motivated. And props to Gotham because we know they're tired, but they were not acting like they were tired when Esther came in. And I've been saying since preseason that she's going to be the top goal scorer. And I think I might be right.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But let's jump. Talking about the first goal. First, Ryan makes an amazing open field tackle and sends Gotham on a break. The really interesting thing about the first goal is this is all you're gonna hear these names a lot: Ryan, Lavelle, and Esther. But in the first goal, if you go back and watch the replay, this is all done by Sheehan. Sheehan is working centrally, and at the last minute, she starts going towards the far defender and then cuts near post, dragging the defender with her, which frees up Rose Lavelle at the far post to be free for that goal. So that is a lot of like little things that Sheehan always does right. And good on her for being able to pull the defender away from Rose to give her such an easy goal on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did mention Sheehan in this game because even though she didn't score in this game, she was putting a lot of work in this game. She was defending really well. She was like getting those balls. Like she was pretty much involved in a lot of these plays. And I'm so glad you just mentioned her.
Yeah. And obviously, I mean, again, go watch Sheehan's movement in the final third. She was instrumental in that goal. The second goal, Rose creates her own turnover. She dribbles through 2 players. The ball gets through. Then it goes to the defender, and the defender, it looks like it megs the defender from like 10 yards away. And then she just runs by her, takes the ball, earns a corner. Yeah, earns a corner. Then the game intelligence of Emily Sonnen is on full display here. A looping corner finds Emily, and she knows that she can't put the ball on frame from that distance, so she just puts it back in the mix. But puts it at the right height for Esther to just put it in the back of the net, and it is 3-1. Incredible.
Yeah. We have to mention that this goal came from a corner, and as we all know, and we've talked about it here, that Gotham really doesn't like scores on corners. I think this is the second or third time they actually scored this season with a corner. So that was, but yeah, like you said about Sonnet, like honestly, I thought she was gonna go for it. I wasn't expecting her to like just pass it to another player, but that was genius.
Certainly genius. Then the third goal, Esther jumps on a back pass, finds Ryan again. Ryan wrong foots the defender and just creates a little bit of chaos, just puts the ball on frame, hits Didasco in the back. Esther just knocks it home, and it is 4-1 within a couple minutes, and Esther is just running wild. Incredible turn of events. Yes, what are your thoughts on that third goal, just creating chaos?
I think they scored like 4 goals in 14 minutes, something like that. Not sure. But yeah, I felt bad for Didasco because, like she's back playing at Red Bull, not with us, but we still love her. And it just like the ball, unfortunately, just like touched her and it just landed right in Esther's feet. And she took advantage of that. Telling you, I can't believe that this happened and how Esther just turned around this game for Gotham.
Yeah. And speaking of players like Ryan, we could thread her through the entire first half of this podcast, but she's one of those players that is accelerating her growth and she's getting better every game. And I can't wait to see her in the playoffs. She's a gamer. But they aren't finished. Later on in the game, Esther gets another turnover, and her partner in crime, Lavelle, is right there with her again. And then Rose gets the initial shot on, but it gets blocked by gets blocked by Didasco, and then it falls to CC Kaiser, who gets her first goal in Gotham Black. Very exciting for her.
It is very exciting. Oh my God. Her face when she scored, she was so happy. And yeah, this is the first time in regular season that she scores. It was a great goal. Again, unfortunate for Didasco. It sucks for her, but hey, another goal for Gotham. They keep going. And I'm so happy because I feel like we've been waiting for this for so long, where Gotham scores more than 2 goals in a game. I know we've seen 13, but I'm talking about regular season. This is the first game in regular season where they score more than 2 goals.
Yeah, I think Rose had the keeper beat. If it didn't get deflected, it was going in the back of the net anyway. But I heard that CC Kaiser has done this the money celebration before, so I heard she had it in her bag. But that was a lot of fun to see in person. And just good on her, be in the right place at the right time. She's a goal scorer, and she does what goal scorers do: find pockets of space, and never give up on a play, which was awesome. And then, so this second half, I mean, it was just all momentum, all Gotham. Gotham had 12 shots inside the 18, which is a lot. 23 touches inside Bay's 18, 3 big chances, 1 shot off target in 12 shots, which is craziness. 53% possession, 100% tackles won, and 21 duels won. Just an amazing second half.
Yeah, and this time, Gotham is known for being a team that likes to possess the ball a lot. And it was pretty much even in this game, but the quality of play that they gave us in the second half was really good.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about a specific player who has been instrumental. It had an assist in this game, and I think she's been amazing all season. And this is partially my bias talking. But Emily Sonnen has been so good this season. 1,408 touches of the ball this season. She's played in the most games that she's played in her whole career. She's played this season. So she's been healthy. She's been good. She's had 1,100 successful passes this season. She's had a 90% pass percentage, which is also incredible. She's got 181 recoveries, which is top among center backs. She's played nearly 2,000 minutes at 1978. So next game, she should be up over 2,000 minutes. And she's been maintaining a 7 or higher on FOTMOB every game. Just incredible. We're lucky to have her.
I know. I mean, and to add to all of that, she went and got a gold medal in Paris.
Yes. Yeah, quite a year for her. Absolutely. So I guess at the end of the day, Coach Ambrose looks like a genius bringing in Esther. And this is a funny, not exactly a post-game quote, but this is a quote. Lynn Williams was on the Good Vibes podcast, and Sam asked her what her advice was for the other teams that were scrapping and trying to make it into playoffs. And Lynn simply said, just give up now and get out the way. She says, Gotham is coming.
Well, Gotham is already there. So, yeah, it's really tight in that table right now. Everyone that's trying to make it. Talking about it, well, we'll talk about it later. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I would never ever bet against Lynn Williams. Not a Lynn Williams team in the playoffs. She's won the championship every other year of her career, essentially. So, what's another one for her? She knows how to rise to the occasion. It's pretty crazy. 4 in essentially 9 years. 1 was lost for COVID. So,
it's crazy.
She's craziness, indeed.
She needs another one. I'm just saying.
Does. Yes.
But, she also mentioned on the podcast that she went, her trip to Jamaica because the team was over there. And I want to mention that I think you were right. Something happened in that game in Jamaica. I feel like something there changed the team because for the first time in regular season, we get them to score more than 2 goals in a game. So I think that game, even though they murdered the other team, I think it did something to them, mentally. Now they're coming and they're just They had a game with 5 goals, which had not happened before this game. So I think something happened with that game. Winning 13 goals in one game, I think, gives you a boost of confidence.
Yeah, we talked about unlocking things, and sometimes that's what you need. Just the confidence to know that you put balls on target, you're gonna get balls in the back of the net. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
And this game was also kind of like a statement game for Gotham to let everyone know, like, hey, we're here and we're a great team. We're a good damn team. And we want to get that championship win again.
And possibly there was seeing all the fun everyone else was having over in Jamaica scoring goals, and she didn't get any. So she was like, okay, don't forget about me. I can still score goals too. So speaking of Esther, surprisingly, she did not win the hero of the match. Can you believe it? It was everybody, because we had 18 goals in 4 days. But Esther was 45%. Esther was 42%. It's a draw. But your thoughts, Ruby, on the player of the match or hero of the match?
You know what? Yeah, everyone did their part, but I think Esther brought something different. So I'm just going to give it to Esther.
Yeah, it's Esther. It is. Now, talking about this season so far, and this keeps getting better and better, 47 points, the most in club history. 14 wins, most in club history. And now we have a four assist lead tie for Esther and Yasmin. Then we have a three-way tie for 6 goals with Ella Stevens, Esther, and Lavelle. Lynn Williams has 3 and Yasmin Ryan has 4 goals. So we asked the fans, with 3 games left, who is going to be the one to lead a Lynn Williams team in goals besides Lynn Williams? Never happened before. So their thoughts were Esther. What have you done for me lately, I guess? Esther, 44% to win the golden boot for Gotham. Ella and Rose. Ella was 31%, Rose was 16%, and Lynn only 9%. Ruby, your thoughts?
I just want to say the fans are right. Of course they're right. It's Esther. I've been rooting for her since the beginning of the season. And at first, I didn't think it was going to happen when she was out and she wasn't playing due to injury in her surgery. So I was like, you know what? It's probably not going to happen this season. But she came back so hungry for goals, so hungry to win. Hey, I think my dream, I think I can keep dreaming. She's going to be the one.
I will never, ever count out Lynn Williams in anything. If you don't think she can score 4 goals in 3 games, I have a bridge to sell you. Because I think Lynn can absolutely do it. She's the leading scorer in NWSL history. I'm never betting against Lynn until the last second, then maybe. But yes. And then again, dark horse Ryan, I think she could pull it off if she applies herself. Now, Gotham has never, only one time had a scorer more than 10 goals in a season, which is pretty crazy. That's Gotham and Sky Blue. And that was, of course, Sam Kerr. But we had a season 2 seasons ago where Midge had 9 and I think Iffy had 8. So we were close. But it's interesting how Gotham has never had a dominant scorer outside of Sam Kerr. When, obviously this team, everybody's getting in the action. So that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone's putting their part.
Mm-hmm. Not relying on one player. Now, some random stats for the team. So this is the best point total in team history was 36 in the inaugural season. So this is the best season by points by far. And the best goal differential by far. We've had one season with +9. We are at +14 right now. This is also the first time in 7 seasons we crossed the 30 goal mark. So this is second time in 7 seasons. And then this is the current lowest goals against in a season for this club by 2 goals. So we have to hold our next 3 opponents to less than 2 goals. We'll see what happens. And this season, speaking of the fans, we're averaging 2,000 fans more than last season, which was a club record. So roughly about 8,000 in the stands, which is really good.
That is incredible. Like you said, last season was rough for Gotham. and it was hard to see just the stadium like empty most of the time. So I'm so glad to see people coming. The energy, you just feel the energy throughout the whole Red Bull Arena is amazing. And like you mentioned earlier with Cloud9, I could actually hear them like cheering through the broadcast. So it was incredible. I love all their chants. I've learned some of them. I don't know all of them, but I know they also have like a QR code on the screens at Red Bull Arena. So if you want to like sing with them or anything, you scan that, scan the QR code and you'll get the lyrics to their chants and everything.
Indeed. And Gotham has 3 home matches left. So get there, get your tickets. It's going to be fun. But first, this weekend, they're going to Chicago. Now, let's talk about this standings. Orlando, congrats to them. They won the Shield, obviously. Undefeated season will do that for you. But what's interesting at the top of the table is Washington. They just lost Andy Sullivan to an injury. Rodman's been dealing with back injuries. They lost Bethune earlier in the season. So they're up there, but they're hanging on. They've lost 2 of their last 3. And it doesn't really get much easier for them. So I think that's a team that to watch up there. But Gotham and KC keep going back and forth between the 3rd and 4th position. Essentially, the only team that can catch us in the 3rd and 4th position is North Carolina. Essentially, they have to win out. We have to lose out. And they have to make up some goal differential in the process. But they're 9 points behind us. So essentially, if Gotham gets any points, then they're going to lock in a 3rd or 4th seed and get a home playoff game, which is going to be awesome. I want a home playoff game in Red Bull Arena. It's going to be rocking.
That'll be awesome. Yeah. Do you know when we would know?
We'll probably know next week. Okay. Once if we get any points, I think we're locked in.
Because not crazy thing, but odd thing. When I was getting my tickets to go see Kelly O'Hara's game. October 20th against Orlando, they had some pre-sale for something. And I was like, what is this pre-sale? So I don't know if that's for like, if they're saving that for like a playoff thing. It says online that the pre-sale starts 2-3 days from now on Monday, I believe.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, it's probably just a pre-sale for we're going to get home game. It's going to be awesome. But Chicago is fighting for their playoff lives. They're in 6th place. They've won 3 out of their last 5. They're a decent team. I don't know if they're top 4 competitive team, but I think they're decent. And again, they're going to be fighting for their lives just like Bay FC was. There's a lot of teams fighting for those last couple playoff spots, and there's going to be a lot of shifting around. So they're going to come to play this weekend. And we now have 5 teams with more points than last season's Shield winner, which is pretty darn crazy. And we got 5 teams with less points than last year's Wooden Spoon winner. So it is a completely different season than last season. There's a lot of separation. This is a normal season, in a way.
In a way,
so, yeah. So this we get 6 days off. Felt like vacation, right, Ruby?
6 days off. What is that?
Then 3 games, Chicago away, Tigres at home, and then Orlando. So first up, Chicago. Now, don't look now, but Gotham has 11 goals in 5 games in the regular season. They are the 3rd best team away from home this season, and Gotham has won the last 4 games against the Red Stars. So we got that going for us. And Chicago has a 4-point cushion on 7th and 8th playoff teams. That's not going to be enough. They need points. They're going to be coming. Just Ruby, your thoughts on playing away at Chicago?
Well, like you just mentioned, Gotham is a great team playing away. So I have confidence that they're going to go out there and do their thing. I don't know if I want Esther to start this game or actually come as a sub and change things around like she did in this other game. But I know she's going to be an impact to the game. We also have to remember that we have great players in Chicago right now. We have one of the best goalies in there. So that's going to be a challenge for Gotham. We know that Gotham hasn't scored that much this season, and they're just starting to score right now. But now they're going to go against Nair. So hopefully they don't get intimidated by that, and they go out there with confidence and score a lot of goals again.
Yeah, I think I think if the Gotham is ahead in the first half, I think this game is over. I don't think that Chicago definitely does not have the bench that Gotham has, and
Mm-hmm.
Gotham can turn it up as we just saw against Bay FC. We can bring in an Esther off the bench, and if Esther's starting, then we can just bring on Ella Stevens off the bench. Okay, and yeah, so I think Gotham's depth is going to win out in this one, and if we get on top of them early, I think it's going to be could be another game where we get another 3-4 goals. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah. And this is a great example, like you said earlier in the episode, where Gotham doesn't depend on one player like Chicago. Chicago, it's really dependent on Swanson to score and win games.
Yeah, agree. What are we manifesting this week?
Hey, a playoff game. Gonna keep manifesting that until it happens.
Yes. I'm manifesting Lynn Williams back in the score sheet. She's got to
Yes.
she's got to win this thing. So I'll never bet against Lynn Williams. So Ruby, any random thoughts before we go?
No, not really. Well, my wife's birthday is on Halloween. She's a Halloween baby. So trying to like honestly just get something really nice for her. I know a nice dinner. I don't want to say what I want to do in case she listens to the show, but a nice dinner and then a weekend surprise.
Sounds good. So Ruby, I want to talk about my misadventures at Red Bull Arena. I talked a little bit about it earlier, but this is a fun little story. This story does not start on Saturday. It starts on Thursday. I am minding my own business. Thursday is my heavy quotes day off. I'm writing papers all day. Around 1:30, I get a text message from my season ticket holding friend who we sit together in 106. She says, "Oh my God, we won the kick for your seats event thing." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Good luck with that." And she's like, "No, I'm not doing it. You're doing it." So we're going back and forth for like an hour. Like, no, you're doing it.
Does she play soccer or used to play soccer?
She used to play soccer. She was a goalkeeper.
Okay.
So, so we're back and forth. Like, I was like, "All right, fine, I'll do it." But in my head, I'm like, I'm going to push her to do it. I'm not doing it. It's been like 4 years since I kicked a soccer ball, and last time I did was like I had surgery right after, so I was like, all right, I'm not doing this. Saturday, I get to the game at Red Bull Arena. I get out of my car, I turn on my phone, so I want to look at the lineups, and I see a text from her saying, "Oh my God, my car broke down. I can't make it to the game." So I was like, "You're faking it. You're faking it." And she sent me video proof of that. You know, her car's lights are blinking and stuff like that. So she could not make it to the game.
Yeah.
So now I have to do this by myself. The email states that like we have to go down to like gate B at the bottom at like 80th minute. And then
Yeah.
I'm frustrated because I'm like, I want to watch this game. And the game is going crazy. Like Esther's scoring every 2 minutes and like
Yeah.
it's going nuts. And it's like the 80th minute. I'm like, I don't want to go down there. Like,
Yeah. That's when the
So-
game was really good.
yeah. So I'm walking down. I'm like watching it on Ion on my phone while I'm at the arena. And like the guy, lovely guy, he was trying to give me instructions on what was going to happen. And I'm like ignoring him, trying to look over his shoulder past the gate. I'm like, what's going on? And then like CC scores. I didn't even see it. But the event itself, which it was a lot of fun. You get onto the field and they put the tarp over the goal where only the top corners are showing, which fine. I've done this a million times before.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. I've done this again a million times. Another thing that was funny about it is that Gotham did not have like my name as the season ticket holder; it had her, so she should have been doing this. So they're like, "We're just going to announce you as Christina." I was like,
No.
"Okay." It's like fine, but then they went and talked.
Can
And
you
they
just call
got
me Chris at least, not Christina?
So I think she got like a ringer to do it. But yeah, they ended up putting under my name. So they did say Gary Gibson over the loudspeaker so I can embarrass myself with full attention of everybody. So I wonder how many people were like, heard my name and did like the Leo DiCaprio, like that guy. So you go out there and I was going fourth, which is fine. So I get to prep a little bit. It's where the penalty spot is. They put this like green mat out, like this like fake grass mat over the top of the turf, because I guess the turf is probably a little bit wet or whatever. And I'm looking at this thing and it's all like wavy and stuff. So I'm like, okay, so no run up. So I said this on the podcast that I've taken penalties my entire life. I've never missed a penalty that mattered, and I always go right every single time. Always the lower corner. I make it 100% of the time. But I could put the ball wherever I want to normally. So I go up to my spot. I pick up the ball, and it's flat.
Oh.
It's flat because like you have to hit the high upper corners, and if you're not like a normal soccer player, that would throw you off. But like if you're not like a normal soccer player, having a flat ball allows you to lift it a little bit more so you can hit the upper corners. Fine, I get that. So it changes my calculations in my mind a little bit. So I'm not doing a run up, and for some reason my brain just goes, hit the left corner. I was like, all right. So I kick the ball, and it just feels all wrong. Like I didn't even know how far I missed for like a foot and a half maybe, but like I blocked out of my mind. That's how bad it was. And immediately, as soon as the ball left my foot, my ego was yelling at me like, what are you doing? You always go right. What are you doing going left? You've never done that before. Go right. I'm like, all right, brain, shut up. I'll go right. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to hit the right corner. That's what I always do. So I take my next shot, hit it. And as soon as it leaves my foot, it feels right. Like all the neurons are firing correctly. Yeah. Everything's working perfectly fine. I see the ball's trajectory is going exactly where I want it to go. And I'm like, oh, this is going to go in. This is beautiful. It hits the underpinning of the post. And because it's flat, it absorbs into the post and it falls flat down.
No.
So I am so mad. So mad. Like it's funny because like behind me to the left is like a guy with like a big television kind of camera. So I'm like, I'm hoping that they didn't put it on the screen because you can just see I'm sure my face was so mad that I missed this thing. And I'm like, man, I could have had a free season ticket.
Anyone who's listening and they actually recorded this, please post it on Twitter and tag us because I need to see this. If someone recorded it.
Yes, not the first one, the second one. I almost got
all of it.
But yeah, I was so mad, and like I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. Like I'm still mad. Part of me is like 50% of me is like I'm still mad that I missed. But part of me is like, man, I still got it.
You should have.
That ball went exactly where I told it to go.
You should have asked for another ball.
Ref.
I know this is flat. Come on.
But yeah, so when I get. Yeah.
I'm just going to say it was the ball, Gary. It was not you. If it was a different ball, I think it would have gone in.
Yeah, it's true. But so I got to embarrass myself in front of about hundreds of fans that were left in the arena. Yeah, but however, like, I don't know, it felt good to hit a ball with my foot again. So like, I'm like, as soon as my college is over, back on the field, back kicking the ball again. I can't wait.
I haven't kicked the ball in a while either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm into pickleball now.
Yeah. Yeah. Not since I coached the Special Olympics. Yeah. So back on it. I made a promise to the fans. I will be back on it. And next year, I'm going to make it.
January 1st. We're going to be like, so have you played?
Yes. So fans, thanks for sticking around. We appreciate you. Again, subscribe to us on YouTube when you get a chance and watch us there. So we will see you not Sunday, but we'll be back in the arena on Wednesday against Tigres. Going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Gotham is essentially through. They just have to get a good goal differential and maybe get another home game for the playoffs for that tournament, which would be good. So we will see you all later. Go Liberty.
Let's go.
Soccer Over Gotham is brought to you by a dedicated team of Gotham FC enthusiasts who aim to bring you the latest news, analysis, and in-depth discussions about Gotham FC and the National Women's Soccer League. This podcast is hosted by Ruby Pinto, Noella Franco, and Gary Gibson. This show is produced and edited by Gary Gibson. For more Gotham FC content, follow the show on social media at Soccer Over Gotham on Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Also Over Gotham Pod on Twitter, X, to join the community. For news and updates, visit soccerovergotham.com. To support the show, please rate us 5 stars on Spotify and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Purchase merch at the show's official TeePublic store. Search all 4 words, Soccer Over Gotham Podcast. Subscribe so that you don't miss a thing, and share the show with anyone who might listen. Word of mouth is everything. Thank you for making it this far. We will see you on the next one.